Welcome everybody. We're excited to have InkSoft as our special guest. You should be able to see a screen that talks about online sales and opportunities for apparel decorators. We hope that you are an apparel decorator, an Equipment Zone client, or a future Equipment Zone client. I'm joined by Jeff Morgenthaler, who is one of our senior sales reps, and also by JP Hunt. You will be able to hear JP, but he has chosen to remain in a cloak of dark. No, I'm kidding. He's just going to monitor his laptop and advance the slides. So today is a special day for us. We wanted to get a little deeper into online sales, into selling merchandise, apparel, t-shirts, bags, etc. online, as well as dive into some ideas for marketing and for fundraising. So we're lucky to have JP. JP, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you guys just fine. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, welcome, and we're thrilled to have you. Tell us more about you and InkSoft a little bit before you jump into the session.
I'm happy to. Thank you, Jay. And Jeff, thanks for the invite, and I'm thankful to be able to present today. So my name is JP Hunt. I'm a co-founder at InkSoft, and starting in 2009, that's when InkSoft was founded, we've been developing software to help apparel decorators sell more effectively. And our vision was, well, the internet is a thing. E-commerce is going to grow year over year. So how do we help furnish technology to apparel decorators to compete in the digital economy? So we've been talking about this theme for the past 10 years. And what's interesting, sort of the post-COVID economy, I think now signals, the real need and demand for e-commerce. So I feel like we're moving past trying to compel apparel decorators that this is an important technology, an important thing, and now it's pretty obvious. So really, I'm going to get into the nuts and bolts of why we believe that's the case and kind of share some real world examples and do my best to give some insights here.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to let you get carried away and get nerdy, get geeked out on online sales. And like I said, don't be too shocked if Jeff jumps in with a great question here or there. And I'm also monitoring the chat. So I'll keep my eyes on that if anybody has something for clarity or for just for deeper understanding. So rock and roll, brother.
All right, great. Well, let's get in and unpack what is a very large topic, and we could spend days talking about all the things relevant to online sales. But my goal today is to kind of break down the what, the why, and the how. And I'm going to take you through, again, some real world examples. And I promise I won't bore everybody with a nerdy presentation. We'll actually show you technology and give you, again, those real world examples. So let me start with this. I've been using this bottom line up front recently in all of my blog posts, just trying to give like the essence right away, right? So this is kind of my thesis that will guide the rest of our presentation today. And I think the reality is this: apparel decorators absolutely need to embrace e-commerce now because it's a thing and it's going to survive. And a lot of technologists and folks in the technology scene are saying that COVID really advanced the roadmap and the technology scene by 3 to 4 years. So the inevitable has been just fast forwarded. And I think the numbers speak loudly, right? So we all know, we read the negative in all the headlines as it relates to retail sales. They've plummeted, right? So we're seeing a 21.6% year over year decline in retail sales, whilst you compare that to e-commerce sales growth. And in 2020, all the experts expect we'll have an 18% growth. So the reality is this: every business needs to ask themselves, where are the sales opportunities? Where are they transacting? And I forgot who said it in our industry, Jay and Jeff, but somebody made the point: sales opportunities haven't evaporated and gone away. They've just moved online. And so that's what we're going to get into today.
Good point.
That's kind of my thesis at large. Another point that I want to make is really there's two fundamental things that are required in order to take advantage of what I'm going to present today. And this isn't rocket science. This is really simple. Digital marketing is, the tool that entrepreneurs and businesses are using to attract consumers. So, old school traditional marketing like mailers, and there's still times for these things. Direct mail. I mean, these are things that just aren't effective, right? It's obtrusive. It's poor response rates. So digital marketing, these are tools that you have access to today to get in front of and attract buyers. So everything from email marketing to social media marketing, of course, paid and organic, things like SEO or paid advertisements on Facebook or Google AdWords. So these are all tools that we can mobilize right now to attract targeted customers, right? So really the formula is this: we need to attract, the top of the funnel to get interest and awareness. But then how do we convert those website visitors into customers, right? And I think this is, the one murky part of our industry as it relates to e-commerce is, you can't leverage digital marketing if you don't have a place or a way to convert, somebody that's interested in custom lacrosse shirts or whatever you happen to be targeting, if there's no way for them to actually take advantage of whatever you're promising in an advertisement. So really this is creating opportunity, but then it's fulfilling and converting that opportunity. So again, the secondary part of my thesis here is you absolutely need to become obsessed with digital marketing, and that you need to couple with e-commerce in order to sort of bring it full circle.
So JP, just to be clear, you guys provide step 2. That's really you're providing the, okay, gotcha.
And I'm going to show everybody at the end of the webinar, I'm going to give away, I think it's 5 or 6 absolutely free, but super valuable, either marketing tools or resources. So we've been busy writing marketing copy and content that's turnkey. So if you want to go out and promote to your customers the things I'm going to share with you, well, we're going to give you everything from marketing copy to some free graphics, different marketing kits. But the one thing we've launched just recently, we actually have a former Facebook employee on staff, and she knows Facebook marketing expertly. So we've put our resources together, and we've created a comprehensive digital marketing course for apparel decorators, and this is free. So we're actually taking you through the basics and graduating you to sort of an expert as it relates to digital marketing. And every business is going to make the decision about what's appropriate to them. Not everybody's going to jump in and take advantage of every tool or resource.
Right.
But there's absolutely, if you create a degree of knowledge and you understand how these tools work, well, you can leverage what's appropriate to you and your budget. All right.
Sounds good. So I'm excited. I hope Jeff and I get one of those.
Let's get into the guts. Yeah. You guys.
I have a quick question for you, JP, real quick. So your marketing person from Facebook, is she also able to help in other platforms like Instagram and I know all of my kids now are moving on from Instagram onto TikTok, so
exactly
you can't keep up sometimes.
What's remarkable is all of these platforms have very similar functionality as it relates to taking advantage of digital marketing. So creating a custom audience so you can really understand the people that are interacting with you or your brand or your web properties, and being able to retarget, meaning follow them around the internet with messaging. So whether it be LinkedIn and their ad manager or the Facebook ad manager, of course now Instagram's owned by Facebook, so again, similarity there. So there's most certainly standard tools that allow digital marketers to, again, tap into those platforms.
Cool.
So yeah, absolutely. She, again, gained her expertise at Facebook, but again, a lot of this transcends all the different platforms. So really, the analysis comes to like, where are your customers generally? And again, if you're targeting corporate America and you want to target, companies selling opportunities, well, Facebook might not be relevant, whereas LinkedIn may. So that's all part of our course. We talk about analytics. So you get visibility to understanding how people are interacting with you and where they exist. So it's a really exciting new frontier in education, and it goes very deep. All right, guys. Well, without further ado, let's get into the guts.
Show us the magic, JP. Come on now.
Let's get into it. So the real question mark here is, okay, great. What are the online sales opportunities that I have access to? And really, I kind of bucketize these by sort of customer profile and sort of the makeup of the sales opportunity. And what I want to spend a majority of our time talking about today relates to online stores. So as retail, and physical workspaces are shuttered and just now reopening, a lot of consumers aren't really anxious to come into your retail shop and sit down in your showroom and look through Sandmar catalogs. They want to interact with businesses. They just want to do it with social distancing in mind. So the reality is today's consumer seeks, they seek convenience, they seek immediate response, and they have an expectation to be able to do commerce, on sort of their schedule, right? So online stores, which we're going to speak to in the majority of our presentation today, is really the tool that will allow you to connect with your customer in different sales scenarios. So the first one that I want to talk about is something called pop-up stores. So think about a family reunion, think about a school spirit day program or field day program. So really a pop-up store means that your sales opportunity is really single use. Like this family reunion is happening in the next month. We don't know if it's going to happen again in the future. So it's really a singular, very focused sales opportunity that typically has a short duration, meaning, hey, the summer camp, you know, the sales opportunity, the ordering window is maybe 30 days or greater. So with that said, a pop-up store means you need to respond quickly to a sales opportunity. It's limited in its time span, and it's really relevant to something specific. You know, the Hunt family reunion. So we see a lot of these sales opportunities, and if you have the right technology, well, you can respond to these quickly and help to solve, you know, customer needs, and again, those sales opportunities that are before you. So this one's pretty obvious because we see a lot of these, and I think apparel decorators are very accustomed to, again, these types of sales programs. But let's get into the balance, you know, the other types of sales opportunities that specifically relate to online stores. The next category is called evergreen. And if you think about an evergreen tree, well, it's always green, right? So it's continuous and it's a long-term sales opportunity. So let's say that you have a relationship with the Ice Den in Arizona, you know, our favorite hockey, hockey rink, right? You know, maybe they have a gift shop, but they want to extend their gift shop virtually. So visitors and fans always have access to cool branded merch. So think about those programs that just extend and they go on continuously. There's no end. So bands, brands, churches, I mean, there's so many of these organizations that just always have needs to promote their brand and cool merchandise. So the beauty with an evergreen store is you can enable it, you can provide it to your customers, and they have a continuous way to interact with you. At the same time, you're generating, you know, not only long-term partnerships, but you're also generating recurring revenue. This is going to be a theme that we're going to spend a lot of time talking about because we saw, you know, in the midst of COVID, where, you know, a lot of my customers reported that 80% of their revenue just immediately dissipated. But if you can develop streams of recurring revenue from different sales opportunities, you always have an influx of revenue from diversified sales campaigns. So evergreen stores are going to become really popular in the future. And there's so much upside to an apparel decorator, again, from you know, sort of account maintenance, relationship maintenance, at the same time having revenue streams. And my customers have told me continuously as they set these programs up, you know, let's say that Ice Den, you know, the marketing manager has a new initiative or new needs, but, you know, because I'm solving some of their challenges and problems, they're probably going to come to me to ask me how I can provide solutions to help them with their new initiatives. So a lot of these programs help to actually gain you future value because of that relationship component.
JP, quick question for you on that evergreen store. So if you set that up, let's say you set that up for a high school, you've got that high school as a client and they direct their people there to go get their swag. Is that swag, are those set designs, set layouts, or are they customizable? And maybe I'm jumping the gun on you a little bit. Maybe you're going to get into that later, but I was just curious about that evergreen store.
You know, it's a really good question, and we are going to get into that, but I'm going to answer that quickly. So the beauty is in our world, let me kind of set this up. There's two types of products. There's a blank product that can be customized, and then there's what we call a pre-decorated product. So think about if you're dealing with a large church and they already have their brand and identity. Well, they just want their, you know, supporters and fans to wear those you know, particular branded items. So we see a lot of stores where it has a range of pre-established products, and then you give consumers the option of customizing their own. So I think it's situational. You need to look at every single sales scenario and say, you know, who are the consumers, primary and secondary, what are their needs, and make a decision. And I'll show you in the InkSoft platform how you can set up an online store and customize it in a way that is really nimble to respond to, again, the uniqueness of that particular customer or approach. So I think to answer your question, you know, if it were me and I were in the sales scenario you gave me, I would want to get my arms around all of the sales opportunity, knowing that there's probably small groups or clubs that may be underrepresented, like the chess club. Why wouldn't you give them the ability to create their own cool chess club swag and sell at retail pricing? Right. And this, Jeff, this is really the beauty of direct-to-garment printing. You know, the ability to respond to maybe some of those smaller opportunities at retail pricing. We just see the traditional screen printer, you know, in the old school mindset of our minimum is 48. Meanwhile, they're, you know, the opportunity costs, they're saying no to $25 shirts all day long. So I'm going to give more insights as we get into that. But I think that's a really good point, so I'm glad you underscored it. So let me share with you now what I think is probably one of the most relevant sales opportunities in online store types and also a consumer profile. It's fundraising. And I'm going to share as we progress, I'll give some more insights into fundraising in the InkSoft platform. But we saw as COVID struck, so many InkSoft customers mobilized their fundraising capabilities to go into their local communities and say, hey, we're all in this together. We want to support our local restaurants and businesses, our small merchants who are taxpayers and vibrant in our local economy. So we're going to raise money for these small businesses. So fundraising, given so many organizations are starved for sources of revenue and promotion. Of course, budgets will be cut as we deal with the aftermath of COVID. So it's going to impact really, I think, every strata of our local economy, right? So the reality is if you, as an entrepreneur, can go into your market and you can help organizations raise money, at the same time raise awareness and help them with promoting their message and their vision and their identity. Well, it's sort of two birds in one stone. So apparel decorators are probably in the best position to be leaders as it relates to fundraising because a branded product is a perfect vehicle for fundraising. So we're going to get in and unpack the real value of fundraising because it's a big deal. But on the onset, fundraising has always been a thing in our space. But again, because of economic conditions, we see there'll be an increased demand for fundraising for years to come, right? At the same time, think of fundraising and a fundraising turnkey program as a massive competitive differentiator. So if I'm seeking out different businesses to partner with, the business that's going to bring the most value that's evident is probably going to win. So we see InkSoft customers really changing the narrative and the story from best price or cheapest price to who's going to give me the best possible value, the best possible buying experience, less friction. And we think fundraising is a great way to do that. And at the same time, I think if you adopt a fundraising first approach and mentality, the real reality is consumers want to do business with others that are doing good in local communities, right? So if you can become a steward and you can become valuable, this is something that is going to help you, obviously adopt new customers in the future. All right, so let's unpack the other store type and customer sales opportunity, which is company stores. So we've seen in the aftermath of COVID, so many organizations having remote employees be very concerned about employee morale, wellness, sense of together. So we've seen a lot of corporations reach for opportunities to engage with their employees despite not being able to see them every day in a workspace traditionally. So we've seen so many cool programs pop up, like employee merch programs, employee welcome kits. So if you hire or onboard a new employee, a lot of companies want to greet them with a really cool swag box as a way to help give them some cool merch and make them feel part of the team. We've also seen a lot of companies want to welcome a new customer, so new customer welcome kits. So there's so many sales opportunities in different sort of categories as it relates to company stores, for their own needs, for employee merchandise and branding, but also for their own marketing needs. So marketing manager wants to send 500 t-shirts to an event. There'll be events again in the future. Those won't entirely go away. So company stores are a great way to sort of grow and develop into selling into company, business to business relationships through this technology. And what do companies want, right? No company wants to deal with fulfillment and inventory and distribution. There's just so much overhead, right? They want a single invoice. They want to consume product. They want to receive one bill and they want to pay that bill. And an online store is a perfect way to trap all of that sales opportunity. And again, as we related, to the Evergreen store, when you set up a company relationship, if you can tap into all the different little sales opportunities they have, again, internal, external, that's going to help you to, again, ramp up and really build a solid base of recurring revenue streams. So you're not, again, so vulnerable to the transit customers or different sort of buying periods or seasonality. All right, guys, we're going to make fast progress here. This is a new concept as it relates to online sales opportunities. But think about this for a moment's time. Let's say that you do have the ability to get in front of a prospective client. Maybe it's a technology company in your market, and you want to approach them with some solutions that you can furnish. So we call these a pitch store. Now imagine if you quickly built an online store to present to a prospective customer, to showcase different product ideas, different embellishment ideas. What better way to deliver those ideas than an online store? And reason being, an online store can be shared easily. It's a link, so it can be shared within the company by forwarding it. It's visual. I can see it from my phone, my tablet, my desktop. I don't have to worry about attachments or things getting lost in spam. So an online store is a perfect platform to showcase product ideas, and it also sets you up to talk about offering online stores as part of the value add that you bring to customers. So imagine this, if I can explain as part of my pitch and presentation that, hey, these are some ideas, and by the way, doing business with us looks like this. We provide this technology, which is going to make it easy for your team to get the swag they need without dealing with clunky invoices or spreadsheets or emails. So you can really set yourself up to differentiate how it's going to be to do business with you compared to others. The other reality is, PDF attachments and other ways to present products don't really highlight or bring emphasis to the product. So with an online store, with product zoom functionality, I can just really see the detail of the products that I am presenting to my prospective customers. So we call those pitch stores, and we see increasingly InkSoft customers are now using these pitch stores to, again, creating good daily habits to say, I'm going to build quickly 3 stores every single day and present those to new customers as a way to start a conversation. Now, not all of those will convert into new sales opportunities, but it's a game of math, right? So we see a lot of success with folks using these visual sales tools as a way to start conversations, get virtual samples in front of people to get them excited about doing business with you.
JP, I got a quick question for you here.
Sure.
First of all, I want to make a comment, then I'll ask the question. You said a word that really epitomizes what you're doing here. And I was having a conversation with somebody about online purchasing, and it all comes down to one thing, it seems like, and that's easy. People seem to be purchasing from online stores when it's easy. If it's complicated or if it's difficult, it's it's easy to move on to a different site that makes it easy to buy. You don't want something complicated, because then you start getting concerned about whether you're even going to get your product. So when you said that really hit it on the nail for me. But I wanted to ask you, when you talk about creating these pitch stores for each individual company, how long do you think it takes to create one of these?
Well, we're going to show you.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's the only way to really understand. If I were to advocate to go build 3 hypothetical stores for businesses you want to court or customers you want to court, and it would take you hours per store to build, well, obviously that wouldn't be practical. So I'm going to show you, because I think there's no other way to understand the power and potential. We, as a technology company, we wanted to solve a number of problems. We wanted to make it fast and easy to create a store, fast and easy to build the products that will go into the store. And we built technology that does just that. And so again, it removes all the excuse, from creating these presentation pieces. And if you compare that to how else would you present? Would you put it into a PowerPoint? Would you create a PDF? Would you, arguably I could create an online store faster than I could create any other presentation vehicle, but it's not going to be mobile responsive. Again, it's not going to be shareable. And it's not going to talk about what it's like to do business with us. I think that's the most important part. And to come back to your comment, your job is to inform customers, you're going to get amazing service, amazing quality, amazing everything, including we're just going to make it super simple to do business with us. And that's, to your point, that's what consumers want. They expect the Amazon type of treatment, right? They expect fast shipment, the best price, ease of purchase, ease of finding information. And obviously online stores can play a big role there. But Jeff, I'm going to bring it back to your earlier question about this notion of personalization and customization. And this is where direct-to-garment printing, I think, shines and really becomes hyper-relevant. So there's another sales opportunity and another store type in our world that we call it personalization stores. And so this is the opportunity to use your website and use InkSoft's online designer as a way to allow consumers to create custom products. And again, because if you're direct-to-garment enabled, I can allow somebody to buy one shirt and I can print it profitably, provided I've been paid in advance, everything is automated. So I know it'd be hard to make the argument about doing custom one-offs if I had to do the artwork and create an invoice and chase down the money. All of that overhead means I'm probably at a loss, right? But if my website can allow my client to self-service 24/7, 365, well, I'm in a position where it makes an awful lot of sense to fulfill orders at the smaller quantity range. And again, in our world, again, I've seen it for 10 years, the traditional decorator mindset about minimums, and it's just these smaller groups and clubs and organizations have been so underrepresented, and they're willing to spend retail prices for custom products because a lot of online retailers say no. So we'll show you more about the online designer and how you can have pre-decorated product, as I've mentioned, and blank customizable product coexist and get your arms around the total sales opportunity.
So JP, this is Jay. Quickly before you move forward, it seems like those last two, the pitch store and the personalization stores, those really are where, like you said, the DTG opportunity, this is the intersection of both technologies. And is there anything else that you can think of as our audience is listening in? Is there a success story? Is there, even if you just summarize something quickly, you don't have to share personal names, but it sounds good. Of course, we think so too, but are you actually starting to see this? Is this, a couple of years now, a year, a couple of months? Where are we on this timeline of DTG meets personalization meets pitch stores equals bigger business, more revenue?
Yeah, I mean, this is a debate that's been brewing forever. And I think just like the debate about digital marketing and e-commerce is now resolved favorably, I think the argument for direct-to-garment is resolved. And the reality is this, consumers want eco-friendly products. And so direct-to-garment can fill that category. We know the future of large bulk order commitments are going to be a thing of the past. Organizations are going to want just-in-time fulfillment. They're not going to want to commit to 3,000 products and have them sit in inventory. So, I think the landscape is going to shift increasingly more favorable to direct-to-garment just because of all the benefits and all the upside. So we've seen the debate brewing. We've seen the transformation and improvements of technology. And I think all of those things have now aligned in terms of cost, the hardware, improvements and capabilities. Right. And now combining that with digital marketing and e-commerce, I mean, you have everything aligned from a technology perspective to now reap the rewards and the benefits that exist.
Right on. Awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So let's, I just wanted to park this here because now we're going to transition away from the nerdy PowerPoint. I'm going to get into the real world, like the platform, the actual technology, but I wanted to park this on screen. If anybody has questions, they want to go deeper into the InkSoft platform, by all means, reach out to us, go to inksoft.com, which I'll show you in a moment's time. But we have an awesome team of industry experts. They know our technology, with expertise, they know the industry really well, and they can help give you more insights into why InkSoft might be a good choice of technology for you. So let me now shift gears really quickly. I just want to give some key insights into the technology itself, and then I'm going to conclude with showing everybody how to get access to some of those free resources that I mentioned. So here is the InkSoft platform, and I'm logged in as an admin. So here I can access all of the tools inside of InkSoft. So whether I want to create some new products, or I want to adjust my pricing, I want to create an online store, everything is, you can navigate to everything here from the left-hand side. But here I am at an example of an online store. And Jeff, this is the point I think you were trying to illustrate. Here's an example of using an online store as your main business website. And many InkSoft customers, the first store they create in our system is for their own business. So this is a fictitious print shop, Circus Print Shop. And you can see here, group ordering done right, personalized product for any event or occasion. And you can see here the ability to position products. So this becomes your virtual product catalog where you can showcase the products print well, are generally in inventory with your suppliers. They have great quality, you stand behind them. One point I want to make now is about product curation. We see a common mistake of folks trying to offer far too many products. And I can tell you, the Chief Marketing Officer at Alpha Broder has confirmed it. We've heard it time and time again. Of all the inventory that sits in Alpha Broder warehouses, you know, it's the 80-20 rule, right? So, you know, 20% of the total products offered by Alpha Broder accounts for 80% of their revenue. So my challenge to every decorator is shrink your product offering, because customers don't want to filter through 50,000 options for a t-shirt. They want to know from you what is good quality, what's a good price point, and maybe a few options, right? Good, better, best. So anyway, we're always encouraging InkSoft customers to be very conscientious of the product mix they're offering. But at the same time, so here's an example of a pre-decorated product, to your point, Jeff. So this is a product that, again, has branding on it. My customer can't customize it. What they can do is choose the style, they can choose their size, and they can check out and purchase. So think about Boston Celtics, right? They don't want consumers manipulating their brand. They want their fans to be able to buy a Boston Celtics garment. That's a pre-decorated product. So in a lot of sales scenarios, a pre-decorated product, again, it's assigned to a print location. Customers can't manipulate or change colors because you want people to be uniform. In fact, it's kind of ironic. I never really thought about the word uniform, you know, school uniforms and corporate uniforms, but the reality is, you know, having control over branding and guidelines is an important thing for a lot of customers. So online stores allow you to sell those fixed branded products. Whereas, you know, we have blank products, right? And that's where the InkSoft online designer sort of activates here. So the ability to let your clients go to your website and click create if they want to personalize or customize a product. So here they can search and filter through all the different products you're offering. Of course, e-commerce, one of the best practices is the ability to mark products on sale. So you can, as soon as you mark something on sale, a little red flag displays, which stands out to a customer. So your customers can quickly determine what products are appropriate to them. They get confirmation on the right size array, view a size chart, view a description, see the different styles and colors available, and then they can elect to click Design Now. And the reality here is this is a mobile responsive online, you know, product designer. And what I can do as a consumer is I can upload my graphic if I already have something cool, like a really cool digital, you know, photo imprint. I can add text. So if I want to upload a photo of my kids and add text to create a personal gift to send to grandma, I can do that as well. And sort of the third use case is, hey, I don't have anything. I'm starting from scratch. My family somehow conned me into designing and ordering family reunion t-shirts. So I need some help.
Exactly. Last year's, it was terrible, dude. You're not, no, I'm kidding.
Jay's part of the family. So the reality is, exactly. The reality is we have 13,000 graphics in every category, and they come in design templates and clip art. So for the consumer that doesn't have a creative idea or concept, well, if you greet them with ideas or concepts for water polo, rugby, wrestling, you know, even the niche sales opportunities, you know, they can take a concept and they can personalize it online right in the design studio. So again, one of the online sales opportunities is marketing to consumers that want to create something special. They want to design something custom. And we look to Custom Ink and Vistaprints and Cafe Press and Zazzle, all the major marketing companies who have followed the thesis that I laid out. You know, they're marketing companies, they're not decorators. They market to, you know, this specific product to specific consumers. So my advice in this case, if you want to engage your equipment and you really want to tap into these sales opportunities, it's not to compete against Custom Ink. Rather, it's to compete in the long tail. So there's a lot of competition for online custom t-shirts. You're probably not going to win in that game, but there's less competition in more specific niche sales opportunities, which we call long tail. So think about custom Christian t-shirts, probably has a lot less competition than, again, maybe the Root custom shirts. So we're always encouraging InkSoft customers to really focus on the niche sales opportunities, and the online designer helps you to connect, again, your digital marketing to letting somebody respond to an ad and an offer and letting them fully engage in an interactive way. And really what this results in is an online transaction, right? Next steps, choose the quantities and styles that I want and check out securely and make payment. And I think one of the greatest upsides to e-commerce for apparel decorators, and I think the biggest sort of paradigm shift, is getting paid up front. We've seen time and time again, decorators taking deposits or, you know, dealing with POs. And we've seen this shift starting 2 years ago where folks said, hey, we're not a bank and we're not a finance company. So our expectation is to be paid up front. And the beauty is e-commerce just kind of naturally enforces that. If you want a shirt, you know, and it says buy now, and it takes you through what looks very familiar, like a shopping cart checkout experience, you know, you get paid up front before you incur any overhead. And again, I think this is the upside of direct-to-garment printing, is you're reversing the supply chain. I'm not maintaining pre-printed inventory, and I'm not having, again, the financial overhead and burden of financing my clients. Really, the sell cycle begins with getting paid up front, which is, from a cash flow perspective, financial health is a pretty big deal and a big paradigm shift for a lot of decorators.
JP, that's brilliant. And I just have to say, from our point of view at Equipment Zone, there have been several times when I've been talking to a client who said, well, as soon as I can collect the money on this invoice, then I can purchase the printer. So I love that 100%. Concept. Let's get paid up front.
Exactly.
Let's give a shout out to Jeremy right there, bro. That's some sweet amber pickings.
And this is a good example. We're gonna start with this and then kind of work backwards on building this. So this is an example of a pop-up store, right? Hey, there's a really cool burger spot in Denver and they're celebrating their 10th anniversary. So they want to sell cool anniversary shirts to, again, people that love Park Burger. So this is an online store that has one product on it. So again, this is a pre-decorated product because the design is already confirmed and dialed in and created. So I can choose my size, quantity, check out and make purchase and go. But let me show you how we get to this state of creating an online store, because that was a question you asked earlier, Jeff. So here, as a software company, as a technology provider, our job is to take what might be traditional or multi-step or clunky and build technology that brings automation, brings efficiencies and value. So here's where it all begins. When you're logged in as an admin and I click this drop down, this allows me to see all of the online stores that I've created that are active or inactive. So if you have a pop-up store that's going to be a 30-day ordering program, like a traditional school or team, fan cloth, I can set up an online store and automatically close it on the end date. So I don't have to worry about stragglers placing orders. So the reality is I can quickly navigate between all my stores. But if I click this button at the very bottom that says create new store, this is going to take me through a step-by-step store creation process. So once you've done this once or twice, this might take 1 to 2 minutes to just configure the main settings for a store. And because I showed you about 6 different store types that relate to different online sales opportunities, these questions are really important because it allows you to really configure the store to have it hyper-specific to your sales opportunity. So a great example, maybe you're dealing with a local school and you agree with the administrators that you don't need to do shipping because it's going to be delivered by homeroom teacher. You can set up a store to accommodate that by choosing pickup locations and informing parents your child's spiritwear pack will be delivered to the homeroom teacher on this time and date. So the reality is this allows you to quickly dial in the settings for a store. And that's step number 1 in the store creation process, is the sort of the what, right? And as soon as you build a store, the next step is, well, let me go to a different example here. The next question is, well, hey, what are the logos or corporate branding or church branding, whatever it might be. So you can upload all of the art assets that are relevant to that sales opportunity. So in this case, if I'm in a store for my client, an Angular merch, this is the program, well, what I can do is go into the store admin and I can click on store art and I can upload all of the print files and even embroidery files. So all of the imprint assets are going to actually be stored online, safe and secure, in a logical place with the online store. And we do something really slick here. We allow our customers to create different colorways. So let's say that I know I need to print something on a black garment, but I need to also print that same graphic but modified for a light colored garment. Well, rather than going back to graphics design software, you have the ability to actually manage different colorways for both embroidery files and print files in this workflow here. And this brings us to kind of the final step in the store journey, which is making products for a store. So if we were to set a timer and say, build 6 products that have 2 colors each in Photoshop or any other graphic design software, and we compared it to what we call Rapid Product Creator, InkSoft technology, I think you'll find that InkSoft will win handily. So in this case, here's my blank product catalog. These are all the products I've ever added to my InkSoft account. I can search and filter and drill down to find the right products that I want to present to my customer that I need as part of an online store. I can choose the different garment styles that are going to be appropriate. And then I can leverage those logos that I've uploaded, whether it be an embroidery file or a print file. What I can do is create that virtual mock-up, that virtual presentation. So we know, in our space, we can't oftentimes create physical samples in every sales scenario because of the cost burden. If you have direct design printing, you're a lot in a much better position to create physical samples. But the reality is I can effectively create a presentation by clicking create product. And what we did is we took that sweatshirt and put it in a temporary holding area where I can now create a few different permutations of product. So maybe I want to present my client with some promo items. I can click create product and add that to the temporary shelf. So you can see I can create 6 products in no time flat because I'm just leveraging, again, technology to choose a graphic, position it, and place it on a garment and click create product. And here are those 3 products that I've just built. When I'm done with this process, I can just finalize. Maybe I want to customize the name of the product. Maybe I want to customize the SKU. And of course, I need to consider a price point. So I can enter in that information and that just adds it right to the online store. So this is why pitch stores are, again, simple. I can build the store quickly. I can build the virtual product presentations that I'm recommending quickly and get that onto the online store. And the last part and piece of this, since we spent some time talking about pitch stores, what I can do is kind of arrange products on the online store so I can group them logically. So the beauty of the InkSoft store framework is rather than like website themes and layouts that are kind of rigid or fixed, we've developed a library of different feature functions, different components, so you can customize what your clients experience when they're visiting the online store. So I can add the fundraising feature. I can embed a video. I can do a countdown so I can inform people, hey, there's 30 days left to place an order for your child's summer camp swag. So again, this rich library of different functions and features allows you to really customize the way a store will look and the features that will drive the performance of that store. Well, I know we're kind of running short.
Yeah, I was just going to say we're kind of at that let's give it maybe 2-3 minutes for you to summarize, and then there's been a few questions. I want to give you some time for those. And I was going to ask a question, and it sounds like you kind of already answered it, which is, if I go through this process, JP, do I run the risk of my store looking like everybody else's store, or my personalization or pop-up shop or pitch? Well, what allows me, are there infinite options? Are there tons of options? Are there just a handful of options? I mean, tell us a little bit about that. Can you speak to that?
I haven't done the math with permutations, but I'll just click through some different examples. So, our sort of methodology here is every feature is customizable. So if I add the header component, which is the logo, and then I can choose the size, and then there's different settings. Maybe I want the logo to be top left versus center. Gotcha. I want a background color.
That's cool. I see.
So there's a huge range of different ways to present, but I think the real way to make impact is to take advantage of custom images like a slideshow or what we call a hero space. So adding a high impact visual that will garner attention and communicate at a high level. Remember, to present my thesis, I use bottom line up front. Well, in website design and e-commerce, we call it above the fold. So what does a consumer see when they go to a website without having to scroll down? That would be above the fold. So using a high impact visual with a key simple message is super important, right? And of course, then you can choose to add more graphics and more custom content. One of the things we've seen as a best practice with pitch stores in particular is adding a personalized video address. So there's a bunch of free tools, like Loom is one of my favorite. I have a Chrome plugin for Loom. You can record a quick video and it uploads it to Loom, and you can share a video link with a prospective customer. But think about if you were to create a pitch store and embed a video, like a YouTube video at the very top of the store, and you had a 1 to 2 minute personalized delivery to speak to your customer.
Yeah, that's huge.
Brilliant.
And you could, personalize your presentation. You could, showcase your face, maybe because you can't do a face-to-face meeting. But imagine if I received a link saying, hey, JP, we put some product ideas together to help you with your employee morale, employee award and recognition programs. And it was delivered
100%.
Personalized video.
That's exactly, if I were a marketing director and during these last couple of months, I would have focused on that and just drilled deep. I would have, every one of my customers would have had one. I would have done new versions, new pitches, new styles, new versions of their logos. Now you're singing my song, brother.
Yeah. And again, to the point of like sales opportunities haven't gone away. They've moved online. At the same time, I think, customers are going to be a bit more judicious with spend, but I think if you can make a compelling case for how we can solve problems and the value we can create, you're going to win sales opportunities, right? So let me kind of wrap things up and we'll take any final questions. What I wanted to do, and I don't want to not deliver upon this, so I'm going to send an email to everybody that registered for today's webinar, just to put all the links together. But what we've been busy doing, to help folks during, a challenging time, which was, again, COVID, and we're not done with it yet, is we turned loose and turned our marketing efforts on creating content that would help entrepreneurs in our space take action. And so we've done everything from providing video training on how to launch successful fundraising programs. And we've been building all of these marketing copy kits where it has turnkey copy paste, professionally copywritten messaging for social media, for email marketing. So we've now extended that. Not only do we give you copy you can use to communicate to your customers and sell them, corporate fulfillment, employee stores or fundraising programs, but we've actually given marketing copy that you can give to your customer to spread the word about the fundraising program. So we've seen so many success stories, extend from these different marketing kits. We're even giving a fundraising graphics kit. So it allows you to not only create a fundraising store, but actually have cool graphic content that's turnkey, so you can go and help support your local community. So what I'm gonna do is just organize an email that just kind of gives access immediately to all of these different marketing kits. And again, if you take advantage of these, you will grow your business. You will communicate to people that you offer a unique service and solution, and here's what it looks like. This is my most recent one. This is a way for you to go to all the different groups that we've, schools, sports, companies, folks that need fundraising, and we have a marketing kit that will allow you to message them specifically. So Jay, we'll organize this and get it to all the folks that registered today.
Absolutely.
One final thing
that's
to
great.
mention.
That's a great, appreciate that. That's gonna serve our listeners and viewers very well. So that's fantastic follow-up.
And we're doing one final thing, to help folks out during, again, what is a somewhat challenging time. Those that are technology enabled and those that are leveraging digital marketing are winning and will win and be set up for success in the future. So what we're gonna do to help folks out is we're offering a pretty unique special incentive for registered attendees today. So what I'm gonna do, you can respond to the email I send you, but this is your way to receive the initial activation fee to InkSoft waived because you're friends of Equipment Zone and InkSoft. So this is our way to kind of give back to the industry and help folks out and get in a good position to be able to thrive in the new digital economy.
That's outstanding. What does that savings represent, JP? A couple bucks?
A little bit more substantial. So the normal activation fee to InkSoft is $19.99, so $1 shy of $2,000. We're willing to waive that fee for Equipment Zone, customers and folks that attended today's live webinar.
Wow, that's outstanding. That's a lot. I didn't know that.
Well, that goes along with Rick Davis was asking the question about, is there a light version? Well, that's a huge savings right there, Rick, to give this a try. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sure you got more to talk about, but I had a quick question.
Sure.
When people sign up for this, do they have a one-on-one trainer? How does okay, I bought this and now I need to get started. Do I watch those?
Good question.
Go ahead.
So we've learned a lot along our 10 years in business, and we've learned the sort of the secret formula to making sure we can take a new user and get them into a success state. And we call it onboarding. So every new customer is going to go through a custom onboarding process where we're going to ask you a ton of questions about your business, your print capabilities, your target, market audience, what's important to you, so we can kind of create a custom plan based on your needs, your priorities, your business. And then really we take you through, product training. So, to be successful in e-commerce, you have to have products to sell. You have to have your shopping cart configured. So how will you get paid? What shipping vendors or partners are you going to work with? So really we just go through sort of a formulaic setup process, but rather than setting it up for you, we're going to teach you everything along the way. So you're empowered. If you're working in the evening and you have a new sales opportunity, you know exactly what series of tools to use to get the outcome you want. So every new customer goes through onboarding, which is personalized one-on-one training. It's very similar to like a Zoom meeting, right? Yep. And then you'll always have access to technical support. So we offer, given everybody has their own preferences for communicating, phone, chat, email, whatever it takes to help answer questions and give insights. So
and
yes,
tech support's included, JP, or is that something that people have to pay for, or how does your
tech support is provided? So here's our economic engine. To be transparent, we don't have a contract. So InkSoft is a pay-as-you-go month-to-month solution with a 30-day guarantee. The reality is this: if you're an apparel decorator and you're making money with our platform, you're going to be and you're happy with our service, you're going to be a customer for life, right? So really, the onus is really on us to make sure that folks are getting value, they're generating revenue, they're saving time, they're being more efficient, they're serving their customers better, which I think is one of the benefits of InkSoft that doesn't always go necessarily directly seen. If you ask yourself, what do your customers want or expect? And the reality is most of them want a simple buying experience. They want to be able to self-service. They want to be able to shop when it's convenient to them. And now post-COVID, they probably don't want to necessarily come into your retail environment if they can avoid it.
Right.
So I think serving customers better, creating a better buying experience is something that every brand, every major company is seeking to achieve, whether it be interface design, whether it be reducing steps. So I think that's the other upside of InkSoft.
So for those DTG owners that might be new customers of ours, they might see this as like, oh no, like a giant hurdle, like this is complex, this is probably not ready for this. You would say what to that newer person?
I would say take it on as a challenge. And again, it's our job to instruct in it and help you get set up and help you learn. And it can seem daunting, but when you break it down into bite-sized chunks, meaning when we do onboarding, we set up a product-only focused training session. So we're sort of checking off, again, the key things one at a time.
Perfect.
At the same time, it's like, well, you're an entrepreneur now, so you have to, do accounting and you have to do invoicing. You have to operate your machine. You got to learn all of that stuff. So I know digital marketing and e-commerce can seem daunting or intimidating. Questions we oftentimes get is, do I have to hire somebody? Do I have to customize my website?
Right.
Technology has evolved in such a way where all of that stuff is unnecessary.
It's simpler now than ever, right?
And increasingly becomes more and more and more simplified, right? So the reality is we as a software company are focused on providing, we sort of have two customers we have to look at, the end customer, so the shopper. So our shopping cart has to be as simple and clear as possible to help your customers check out quickly and easily. At the same time, we're focused on making sure all of our internal tools that we provide are as simple and clear as possible.
Hey, listen, JP, you can't get any better than this. You've got a raving fan in the chat saying, I think her name is Joanna Lawrence, that it's a remarkable tool. I've only been with them a short period of time. They're consistently improving and staying on top of this changing world. My business has significantly increased since starting with them. And then she followed up by saying, I've only been in DTG since November of 2019. InkSoft tech support is phenomenal. So you've obviously impressed a few of our mutual customers that are listening and watching today, which is fantastic news. Of course, I'm not surprised. But there is one question, because I did read something maybe a couple of months ago, caught my eye. I don't remember too much about it. You don't have to go deep on this, but there was something in the news about Facebook stores. And Rick Davis had also commented on this, saying, is there a comparison to that? Is there any similarity or differences? What should we know about that?
Yeah, so every social media platform is obviously seeking to add social commerce, right? So from an organic post, if an influencer is showcasing a product, well, I can buy it directly from that posting. So here's the rub. If a corporation has a Facebook page, they can add a store to their page because they're administrators. You, as a third party, don't get permission to access their Facebook account, right? So there's sort of an impasse and a hurdle there. that's going to prevent a third party from servicing those opportunities. So it's something that a band could create a merch store for their own purposes and then connect with a third party, you know, send order information. But you, as the decorator, you're not going to be able to monetize or trap the transaction or cash flow because you don't have permission to that Facebook account or page. So I think that is the uniqueness. I think it's relevant. You should seek to leverage those technologies where they're important. But I think it's more, those opportunities for decorators are going to be more about fulfillment, meaning the church is going to send you a single invoice or a PO for all the products that transacted from their store. They collected the revenue. You might just be the fulfillment partner.
You know, JP, I haven't got into the Facebook stores that much, but I have to believe, just knowing from, I know some of the designers that you use for your art content, and I've seen your art over the years. That's got to be a huge advantage for InkSoft. You haven't got into too much about your art content, but art content for our clients could be a really big deal.
Yeah, I think that goes to the point of our online designer. You know, there's 13,000 graphics and we're seeking to add more, and, you know, trends change, styles change. So the reality is, you know, if you were to go try to buy clip art and load it into a website, you'd have to pay crazy licensing fees because all stock artwork isn't allowed to be used online. There's just, you know, greater value. So yeah, absolutely. You know, the content that comes inside of the design tool is invaluable, right? Because there's really content for anybody. So we made a purposeful decision to make sure that there's styles for the different personas, right? So think there's youth, and then there might be collegiate. So just totally different age groups that are going to have different tastes and preferences. So it's making sure that there's appropriate styles and versions. But at the same time, because Jeff and Jay, you're in Arizona, you know, there's Basis Prep School. It's one of the nation's best, you know, preparatory schools, right? Or I think it's a charter school.
Yes.
Ironically, there's one by my house, and I see the students, they take advantage of our park because they don't have their own facilities. The only sports they offer: lacrosse, cricket, and rugby, like actual prep sports. That's it. And so if you didn't have content to sell into the rugby segment, well, you're probably not going to be able to tap into that opportunity. So again, you know, if we look at underserved groups that you could monetize, you have to have the right content. You have to have the right means to be able to sell to them. So you can see as you start to pair the right art with DTG, you know, again, short run, all of this stuff comes to light.
So JP, a couple of quick questions that came up. Is there anything, how do you guys handle shipping, estimation of shipping? Is that included on the back end? Is there some form of a outbound shopping cart that is included with InkSoft stores?
There is. So yeah, that's the point. When you get set up with InkSoft, we're going to help you get set up with, you know, shipping vendors and shipping options. So some people, you know, they want to offer, you know, an economy method and maybe a premium rush method. Well, if you're offering rush, you probably want to have a markup. So basically the InkSoft shopping cart is going to enforce your business logic. So from all the best practices, coupons, discount codes, sales tax, gift certificates, gift messaging, shipping. One of the pieces of advice we always give as it relates to shipping, the number one reason for shopping cart abandonment, and that means people leaving a shopping cart, is they perceive shipping to be too expensive. So our advice is always, you know, consider your retail product pricing and maybe inbuilt a little bit of shipping to pad. So you see a lot of, you know, large e-commerce providers offering free shipping as an inducement, but they're making it up elsewhere. Maybe orders over a certain dollar amount qualify for free economy shipping. But one technology that we have inside of our solution that adds a tremendous amount of value, what you're seeing on screen now is our order manager. And what the order manager does is it receives orders from every store, every online design order, everything, including our invoicing and proposals. Everything comes to one central area, and you can filter. So I can say, show me the orders from a specific sales campaign because it's time to fulfill those orders or mark them as ready for ship. So I can take 1,000 orders, you know, from a fundraising program, and I can mark them as ready for pickup or ship. But what we've done is we've built some unique technology. I can go to ready to ship, and orders that were, you know, if the consumer checked out and they chose to get those shipped to them, what I could do is select all 1,000 orders, and I can enter in the weight and dimension, and I could purchase 1,000 shipping labels in one motion, and that will trigger email notification with shipping to those consumers. So could you imagine if you did a bunch of online stores and you have a bunch of orders coming in and you had to manually do all this stuff?
Oh, couldn't do it.
So
I would
it'd be
hire
crazy.
Jeff to do it. That's who I would
Exactly.
hire.
I would
You'd get carpal tunnel syndrome.
Jeff has lots of kids, you know. You gotta,
Exactly.
They
Put them
need
to work.
it's about time. You know, the world needs ditch diggers too, Jeff.
That's right.
JP,
Obviously,
this was impressive in every way. We are thrilled. We're kind of coming up on that about an hour now that we've been together. Is there anything you'd like to wrap up with? Anything you want to conclude with?
You know, I think I'm just going to bring it back to the thesis. I think the evaluation here is where is growth happening? So you need to answer that question. That will maybe that looks a little bit different for your business because it's unique. But I don't think there's an argument anymore that digital marketing will allow you as a business to get in front of potential buyers and create awareness, promote your company. But the real question is, once you do that and they go to a website that's just informational, you know, if I'm a lawyer, I can have a website that's static. It just has my area of expertise and practice, but my clients can't transact with me. And if you think about the apparel decoration industry, at the end of the day, this might be an oversimplification, but it's about putting artwork on stuff and selling it. So, you know, the real question is, can your clients service themselves end to end? Can they do business with you online? Because that's the future of our industry. And I think the only other thing to add is if folks want to go deeper and they want to know more, what we can do is a personalized one-to-one online tour. So we can ask you a bunch of questions about your business, really get a handle on your opportunities, maybe some of the challenges you're having. And we can go way deeper to show you all the technology that InkSoft offers.
Yeah,
so if anybody's curious or interested.
Yeah, perfect. I was going to say, sorry to cut you off there. I was just going to add that I would strongly encourage those of you who are tuned in, who are Equipment Zone customers, to take advantage of that opportunity. It would be another worthwhile hour to make this a personalized, walkthrough to see this from start to finish as it relates in their world with, their lanes that they, some of our clients are niched down into these specific areas and they're going to have really, really hyper-focused questions. Yeah. So I think that's a wise next step.
Well, great. And as promised, we'll get an email off to everybody with all those links to access the free marketing copy. It's free. You don't have to use our platform. And if anybody does have questions, just respond back to me and I'll be happy to line up a personalized tour. Hey, Jeff and Jay, thank you for the invite here. Really appreciate the opportunity. And
absolutely.
Thank you, JP. Absolutely loved it. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
So I've got the key contact slide up here that people can see. If you want to make sure to reach out for any Equipment Zone questions, please visit our website. Obviously, our 800 number as well as our tech support number is on the screen. Jeff, thanks for joining us as well. I appreciate you always bring in great perspectives. You're such a good advocate for your customers, and you hear a lot of questions that I don't. So I think that together, it was kind of awkward there for a moment. I just got to say, JP, you're still on, but let's be real. We've known each other for quite a while. We were all three co-workers at one point. So love the fact that we've been able to kind of keep these friendships alive, and these partnerships mean more now than ever. And so do yourself a favor and take advantage of the skill set and the knowledge base that Jeff brings to the table, as well as JP, because these are two gentlemen that I've known for a long time and have a tremendous amount of integrity that are definitely committed to the success of your business. And I like to think, and I truly do believe, that that's what makes us different. It is our unique value proposition that Equipment Zone together with InkSoft is going to lead you in a direction. Of course, we're in business to make money. Who isn't? We are. We admit that pretty upfront and openly, but different by design in that we want to dig in deep with you and work with you to make sure that your business is going to reach the success that you think is possible. So great job, gentlemen. Appreciate that. Anything, Jeff, to wrap up with before I turn this thing off?
Real quick, I see there are some great compliments in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for those comments. I have a friend who purchased a printer from me and is a client of InkSoft here in my hometown of Queen Creek. Absolutely loves you guys. So I lend my endorsement along with Jay's. And thank you, JP. Thank you, Jay. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
All right.
Until next time. Thanks, guys.
Until next time. Thanks, guys. We're out.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.